John sprints through the dense trees, chest heaving, desperate to escape before darkness falls. But no matter which direction he runs, he ends up in the same clearing. He spots a sign, "Point of no return." A flock of birds explodes overhead, and John realizes with horror that night has already come. He scrambles up a tree. The branch snaps. He crashes to the ground. He reaches for his knife, but something reaches him first. A creature lunges from the darkness and drags him away, screaming. Miles away in the city, Mina has no idea any of this is happening. An American immigrant with a quiet life and a talent for art, she works at a pet store. Her boss gives her a simple job: transport a golden bird named Darwin to a zoo in the next city. Mina names him, bonds with him, and keeps him overnight. The next morning, she loads Darwin into her car and hits the open road. While driving through the countryside, her sister leaves a voicemail, sharp, cold, and loaded with guilt. Mina missed their mother's memorial. Again. She listens, then drives on, doing her best to push it away. She doesn't notice the roadside sign plastered with dozens of missing person posters. She should have. Soon her phone dies. The radio cuts out. Her car shudders and dies on the side of the road. Mina steps out and sees it immediately. Point of no return. She grabs Darwin and her bag and starts walking, calling out for help. No one answers. When she turns back to find her car, it's completely gone. The forest has already started playing games. As darkness descends, a massive flock of birds sweeps overhead, and strange sounds begin bleeding out from the trees. Then Mina spots an old woman running frantically through the forest. Desperate, she follows. The woman vanishes into a strange, sleek building, and Mina runs in right behind her. "Come inside if you want to stay safe," the woman says urgently. Quickly. Inside, Mina meets Sierra and Daniel, two other lost souls who stumbled into this forest and never made it out. The old woman introduces herself as Madeline, and the building, she explains, is called the Coop. Then she leads Mina to a large mirrored window and tells her the rules in a single chilling sentence. Creatures called the Watchers come every night, and they must always be visible in the mirror, never hidden, never defiant. As if on cue, the Watchers appear outside and begin clapping in the dark, welcoming Mina to her new prison. The next morning, Mina defies the warnings and slips out alone. Almost immediately, the forest begins messing with her mind. She hears someone whispering her name. A girl appears in the distance, asking why she left. Mina runs until she reaches a hilltop, and what she sees stops her cold. In every direction, for as far as the eye can see, there is only forest. No roads, no buildings, no escape. Madeline appears behind her, unsurprised. The signs, she explains, are placed in a circle about half a day's walk from the Coop, a boundary drawn by someone called the Professor. Cross them, and you never return. The forest doesn't just trap you, it dismantles. Life inside the Coop falls into a grim routine. Each night the group stands at the mirror, while the Watchers stare back from the darkness. Sierra dances for them. Daniel broods. Mina draws, and Madeline recites the 4 rules of survival like a prayer. Always face the mirror, never open the door after dark, avoid the burrows, and stay in the light. During a foraging walk, Sierra quietly reveals to Mina that her husband John vanished 6 days ago. She also explains that the burrows scattered through the forest connect to underground tunnels where the Watchers hide during daylight. Mina files that information away. She's already planning something. When Daniel accompanies Mina to check the animal traps, she presses him about the Watchers. He admits, quietly, almost reluctantly, that he's never actually seen one. Neither has she. For the first time, both of them begin to wonder how much of Madeline's story is true. That doubt leads Mina straight to one of the burrows. She ties a rope around her waist, ignores Daniel's protests, and descends into the darkness with a lighter. What she finds is unsettling. Abandoned belongings, a newspaper dated 1992, and a video camera. Then, from the shadows, a 6-fingered hand reaches towards her, murmuring in a language she doesn't recognize. Mina screams for Daniel, yanks the rope, and climbs out. Back at the coop, Daniel connects the old camera to the power supply and rigs it to a TV, creating a crude surveillance feed. That evening, the group sits around the screen in tense silence until a knock comes to the door. A voice drifts through. Sierra shoots to her feet. It's John. Madeline goes cold. No, the watchers can mimic voices, but John sounds so real. Injured, frightened, begging. Sierra fights to open the door. As the argument boils over, Madeline forces Mina and Daniel to admit they entered the burrow. Then she turns to Sierra and says, "Ask him something only he would know." "What book am I reading?" Silence. John hesitates. He can't answer. Sierra asks him to show his face on camera. John appears on the screen, then gets violently torn away. Something slams into the camera. The feed dies. The creature outside erupts with rage, hammering the door until the mirror begins to crack. Weeks pass. The cold deepens. The group begins to fall apart. One afternoon, Mina overhears Madeline screaming at Daniel. No food, no plan, no future. That evening, Mina turns to talk to Sierra, but Sierra has vanished. Mina sprints into the forest and finds her standing at the edge of a burrow, staring down into it. Sierra wants to end it. She wants to be with John. Before Mina can reach her, they both hear a scream. They find Daniel tying Madeline to a tree. He's snapped. He announces they're done with her rules. He charges back to the coop, Sierra running after him. Mina frees Madeline and they race back together, only to find the door locked against them. The birds are already swarming. With nowhere else to go, Mina and Madeline dive into one of the animal traps. It reeks, but it might mask their scent. Inside the coop, Daniel panics under the watcher's gaze and blurts out that two women are unaccounted for. The watchers scatter to search. The moment the area clears, Mina and Madeline bolt to the door. Mina pounds on it, then does something unexpected. She confesses. She tells Daniel that she caused her mother's death, that she's carried that guilt every day, and that if he leaves them out here, he'll carry something just like it for the rest of his life. The door opens. Once they're safely inside, Madeline finally reveals what she knows about the Watcher. On her first night in the forest, she saw one, a twisted, distorted reflection of herself. These creatures appear in ancient stories across the world. Changelings, fairies, winged beings. They watch humans obsessively because they want to become like them. Then the Watchers attack in full force, crawling over the coop, mimicking human voices, screaming to be let in. Just as the door begins to give, Sierra spots a hidden panel beneath the carpet. Daniel smashes it open. They all drop into a secret bunker below, sealing the hatch as the Watchers flood in above them. Inside, they find Professor Rory Kilmartin's old workspace, food, books, files, and a computer. Most importantly, they find his video diary entry. In the recordings, Rory begins as a curious researcher, fascinated by the Watchers. Entry by entry, he unravels. He reveals the Watchers killed his construction workers. He captured one, tried to befriend it. It attacked him. On day 300, a broken man, Rory records his final message. He left a boat near sign 134, reachable by following the birds. Then, gunshots. The recording ends. At dawn, the group follows Mina's tree markings through the forest until they reach sign 134. They release Darwin and follow him. They find a stone marker, a fairy prison, Madeline explains, from an ancient war against humans. These creatures lost their wings and their magic and have been trying to reclaim human life ever since. Then night signals its approach. The Watchers are coming. The group runs. The women reach the river and board the boat, but Daniel freezes when he hears John's voice calling from the trees. He drags what appears to be John to the shoreline. Sierra screams at him. It isn't real. Too late. The creature tears Daniel apart with its claws, then goes still. More Watchers gather to watch as the women row away into the dark. Madeline tells them quietly, the Watchers cannot leave the forest. They're safe, but one already has. Back in the city, Mina visits Rory's university office, posing as his niece. Inside, she finds the coop's blueprints, research papers, and an illustrated scroll detailing Watcher history, including one explosive detail. Before the ancient war, some fairies and humans formed bonds. Their children, half fairy, half human, could walk in sunlight. Rory believed some of those descendants still live among us today. Then the photographs come. Mina goes straight to Sierra's house and lays them out. The pictures prove it. Madeline was Rory's wife, who died of lung cancer in 2001. The Madeline they knew in the forest was never human. It was a Watcher, the one Rory captured, wearing his dead wife's face. The realization barely lands before a car pulls up. The real Sierra walks in. The Watcher drops its disguise, shifts into John, knocks Sierra unconscious, and throws Mina across the room. It snarls that it finally escaped, and Mina helped it do it. Still alive, still transforming. Then it pauses. Mina tells it the truth about half-bloods, fairy-human hybrids walking among humans, creatures like it. The Watcher stills. It thinks of the time it spent as Madeline, the emotions it felt, the humanity it absorbed. Something shifts. Wings tear through its back. It rises, lands briefly on the roof, and looks down at Mina. "I hope you're right," it says. Then it's gone. Mina checks on Sierra, alive and unharmed. Later, she reconciles with her sister and meets her niece and nephew. She tells them everything, and she admits that even now, back in the safety of the city, she sometimes feels watched. The Watcher could be anywhere, any face, any crowd. It often takes the form of the little girl Rory once described. As Mina talks, Darwin sits at the window, watching the street below. From somewhere out there, something watches back.